This is Pete Moore, Halo Talks NYC. I have a fellow New Yorker who you're going to learn a lot about, Mary Laudati, who lives on the Upper West Side, works out on the Upper East Side. It's just right by the Halo epicenter of Integrity Square. So we're going to intercept you on your way back and forth. Welcome to your first Halo Talks.
Thank you so much. It's so nice to be here and to finally meet you.
Exactly. I feel the same way. Ganelin kind of like, he holds these relationships so tight. You know, it takes years and years to like, he's like, oh yeah, I've known this person. I'm like, why do you hold that back? We're on podcast number 600. You know?
I gotta keep something close to my chest.
Just keeping it close. Like, yo, you're going to keep me going here because I got a couple more things up my sleeve. Like,
he saves the best for last. So,
Yeah,
that's right.
yeah.
There we go.
He always says to me the other day, he's like, I got Mary Laudati coming on. I'm like, no way, bro. You got to be kidding me. You're hired.
We're bringing on the pasta fazool.
Yeah, I got a pasta fazool story about me and my cousin, my nephew, but that's for another time. Okay, so we're going to talk about sales, which everyone says like, oh, I got a great sales team. Oh, this is what I do. And then I realize like, you don't really have a sales strategy. You don't have a script. You don't have, actually KPIs. So why don't you get your together and like hire somebody like Laudati to help you figure it out? So tell us what you've been doing for people, because I think the actual sales team and the idea of doing things sequentially and in a process to get wins actually is kind of missing. So thanks for coming on.
Yeah,
fire
my
away.
pleasure. Great to be here. I mean, once again, we're in 2025. We're in a whole different place and time. Thank God the health club industry has rebounded and is stronger than ever. And thank God we have more people understanding how important it is to be fit and to be strong. So we had a great 2024, a strong 2025. So far, so good. Everybody's doing really well. Obviously, a part of Rex Roundtables. So we have roundtables and work with clubs in the United States, Europe, Australia. So from all of our people that are part of the roundtables, it's been also a really great start to the year. And, what we do is we come together and we share best practices. We have roundtables that are just for owners. And then we have roundtables for department heads like PT, for personal training and for sales and marketing. So we can have that same kind of shared best practices, not only with the owners and the GMs, but also with the department heads.
So explain to the audience here and to me that when you say we, what does that entail and what type of team you have in place? And are you curating sales strategies and systems and software? It's not like, hey, I'm a software company. Let me show you how to deploy this. Is it kind of like going into the nuances of like, hey, who you are, how you do things, and then, basically build that after you understand like the DNA?
Sure. So I'll talk a little bit more about my round table that I chair. So just first of all, most important thing is I have sales and marketing leaders, CMOs to CRMs, and you name it, I've got them. So what we do is we come together and we really share what we're doing in regard to, and the biggest topic lately is software. What are you using? How is it working? And are they promising everything that they sold you on?
Gotcha.
And we know probably one of the biggest challenges in the health club industry is probably the number one important component that we need, which is great CRMs. So we basically, it's a big topic of conversation is what's on the marketplace, what's working, what's delivering the best KPIs, what's monitoring work production numbers, what is also integrating with other softwares that are actually recording sales calls that you could be a part of, that you can coach on. So what is the technology that allows us to coach, monitor, mentor, and at the same time deliver great KPIs?
So I've been around the space now for 25 years, started up a software company and tried to use some softwares like, Salesforce.com as an example, and trying to like create that beast into like something that's actually customizable. We built the software back in the day pre-broadband that, we're trying to tell people this is how you need to do it. So, whether it's on a name basis or, in this industry or outside this industry, like who's doing a great job with saying like, look, this is flexible. I prefer to use this, because the tech stack I thought was going to get smaller and it got bigger.
I will tell you from my background, I was given a great gift. When I was the VP of sales for Millennium Partners and I was overseeing the Sports Club LA brand and working for Dr. R. Curtis, he gave me the gift of Salesforce. We were one of the first B2C companies to actually design something with Salesforce. And it absolutely made all the difference in the world. And then as a consultant, really kind of wrapping my arms around everything else that was made for the industry, I keep coming back to we need something customizable like a Salesforce that can give us what we're looking for in reporting. Mm-hmm. So we literally have finally worked with one club in particular that was like, we're doing really well. We don't know why. And we've actually put together a Salesforce edition for a company in Novi, Michigan, who is now kind of spreading the love and putting it out to their franchisees. So we've just launched this in the last couple of years, and it's really showing that the right software can make all the difference in the world. So I happen to be a huge fan of Salesforce because it is truly customizable.
Yeah. From a standpoint of training, how much training, is being done before you walk in? How much training is being done after? And I feel like this industry doesn't pay for, and doesn't invest in their employees as much as they should. Can you expand or contradict that?
No, I have revenue dollars behind it, so there are companies that have made the decision to bring in the software, bring in the technology, also include the training that goes along with it. And Q1 over Q1, I've seen 25% growth in revenue. Wow. So we know it all makes a difference collectively. But the biggest thing is that when a company reaches out and says, we're doing okay, but we could really use a boost this year. Just to give you a quick idea, the first thing I'll say is, in order for me to work with you, we need to record your calls, inbound and outbound, just to get a flavor and do some due diligence. We're going to shop your salespeople and your sales program. So shush, don't say anything. Let us really take it all in. I'll give you an evaluation, and then we'll custom design a program that will work for you because everybody's different.
Gotcha.
But I love ownership or management teams that are able to take the feedback and they're yearning for the feedback so that we can make it better.
So one of the things that Dave and I have been harping on, and I was at a Connected Fitness conference a couple of years ago, and it was all about technology and everyone throwing around AI this and AI that. And so I was like, how do you feel about, the future? And I'm like, kind of leaned in. I said, just so everybody knows here, you can't have artificial intelligence until you have intelligence. Okay. So because you have like my credit card, my birthday, my first name and my address, like that doesn't make you intelligent about me as a member or a prospect or anything. So as you get in there, and we know that a lot of this industry historically has been based off of, referrals or add-ons to your membership. And some companies said like an add-on could be your friend. It doesn't necessarily have to be somebody, like Bay Clubs, now I think you can add a friend on. I don't even think they have to be like, related to you or something. I might be wrong about that, but I'm pretty sure.
No, they're actually a client of mine. So it's all about shared. It's all about a shared membership. They're doing it brilliantly. And it's, here's a membership for yourself, or you can add on 5 of your best friends, right. Whoever you want. And now you have a shared membership, which actually makes the investment better for each person. So the more the merrier now takes on a whole new meaning.
Yeah, it's almost like multi-level marketing, like with inside your own membership plan.
It's the best referral program ever because you get people at hello to start really referring their friends now versus a year or 2 into their membership.
Right. And then the other thing that Dave and I have been talking about when we get this artificial intelligence, you need intelligence, are you seeing companies either inside of Salesforce or inside of ABC or inside of, DAX or Club Automation, whatever, that they're actually spending time like filling out, like, here's everything you should really know about this prospect or this member? Are we there yet, or you're focusing really on let me get people in and solve that for you?
The bottom line is, look, we're still in the people business. And as long as we're in the people business, we just have to understand that we entertain many different types of customers, so everybody's coming from a different walk of life. So the things that really help is in a CRM or in anything else is to, have a Google search on, where they are in LinkedIn, what are they doing for business, to get a little bit of insight about who they are as a person.
Yeah.
So you know who you're actually speaking with when you first meet them. But look, at the end of the day, it's still a very personal conversation with most people, knowing that more than half of who we talk to are not physically engaged in anything.
Gotcha. So what have been some of the, whether you want to name clients or not name clients, what are some of the things you'd be like, you know what? I'm so proud of what that this company actually had the guts and the foresight and the investment to actually get me in here. And like, here's what resulted from that. And maybe in certain cases that kept like the club alive. And that like now there's 6,000 people that work out at this club because Laudati and crew. I love saying that name. I'm just going to keep saying it as much as possible. No one's editing this out, by the way, on the audio side. It's an order. I mean, like, hey, look, like I feel like really proud of that. I'm like, I'm almost got like a tear in my eye because every health club is like 6,000 members that like either do that or maybe do nothing. Who knows?
Sure. No, I mean, like it all started just taking the Sports Club LA to the next level, given the tools I was given and picking out my team and really putting together a sales culture, which I was extremely proud of and stayed with the company just because I could never leave my people. But I finally did break away to start my consulting business.
Gotcha.
And, extremely proud of those people. And I've taken many of them with me along the ride with some of my clients that need strong leadership. So been passing the torch along the way. But yeah, I mean, Powerhouse Gyms in Novi, Michigan is a great example of we're doing well, but we don't know why. And really going in there and taking almost 2 years to build the software out, integrate everything else, the bells and whistles, for us to inspect what we expected.
Yeah.
And then to do all the sales training to see such growth in their revenues. And then now starting to open up even more locations than what they initially planned of. So, there's the Oxford Athletic Club out of Pittsburgh.
Yeah, sure.
Yep, another great one who I've been working with for the last couple of years. Not only the sales training, but also from their PCG Capital investors saying, we want you to come in and do a total evaluation inside and out of our business and give us recommendations of how to be even better. Increase retention, increase membership. What do we need to do? So we went in with a team of people and really evaluated the people, the product, the profit, and the programs to give them recommendations, and they're running with it as well.
So when you go into a client and you do this, I like like doing a mystery shop and they're like taping the calls and like let me understand what's going on here. Like, don't hire me until I understand like what the problems are, and then I'll come in and I'll actually give you like a real pitch instead of like here's like what I can do for you. Like, let me find out where you're at. Are there like certain, just maybe to tease this out with some of our audience here that probably need to hire Laudati and basically say, look, like there's some low hanging fruit. Like if you start with like one or two things here and then call me like for like phase 2.
Yeah, I mean, we'll just simply shop their existing team from reception. Even how reception, it was amazing. I have another client, LifeBridge, who we shopped. And I mean, we laugh about it now, but when I actually did shop them, and this was recorded on a Sunday, asking about membership rates and how it all works and blah, blah, blah. And it was, well, we have nobody here that can take your call. Maybe call back tomorrow.
Then call back.
Who actually can talk to you. And then when I shared that with the GM, and once again, we've totally changed the structure here, to find out that that was actually their sales leader who was busy multitasking, that didn't have the time to actually give me what it was I was looking for. I'm like, you're losing money. You're losing business because you're not making sure that you have dedicated people to engage, and you're too worried about taking care of your members, checking in and checking out. So those are some of the aha moments. And look, at the end of the day, it could be we have these many leads and we're just not closing at a good percentage. Why is that? And then once we dig in, we understand that they're one and done. They're only calling these digital leads once. And we know that it takes 8-10 calls just to make two-way contact. Once we teach that and the philosophy of how do you get digital leads to bust a move, then they'll start to understand it's just the work ethic.
Gotcha. So let me ask you a question on this. So in our main business, besides doing the podcast, and we do a Halo Academy, which is kind of like a business school boot camp, like a Harvard Business School, 5 cases at a time, every 2 weeks, once a quarter. Our day job is I help people sell chains of clubs or franchisors or clusters of area developers. We were actually the group that we were hired by Millennium to sell Sports Club LA on 61st Street Vertical Club a long time ago. When I started Integrity Square. So he spent a lot of time in that location, which was an awesome club. So were you working out of this?
Yeah, that was one of my clubs.
Yeah. I was hoping that we could do a deal with somebody. We had an investor that was going to buy it. I was going to move my office in there. That's kind of was my dream idea at the time. As an aside to that, so we're helping people buy and sell companies, and they have these attrition rates that are so high, and they don't hit their sales targets. And a lot of people use this term like LTV, LTV, like lifetime value of a member. I'm like, one, you have no idea how high that number is. Like if you actually forget about like doing your math, let's do my math. Okay. You got $100 a month on a client times 12 months, and I sell your company for 6 times cash flow, 6 times EBITDA. That's worth $7,200. Okay. So how much would you be willing to put behind a $7,200 exit value EBITDA calculation that member might have? You might want to have a little more touch point with that. You might want to use that as a sales lead and view if that member leaves because you haven't delivered, then that is, they broke up with you is basically what they did. It's not like they attrited or like attention retention. That's like, they broke up with you. Like stop using these big words to make it seem like something bigger happened.
Sure.
So LTV, like does that even like ring true to anyone? Or it's like, let me just get the sales in and let me just run this business where people don't break up with me.
Yeah, no, I will tell you.
Sorry about my rant.
Yeah, no. No, and my biggest thing is always being a vice president of sales. I always got these huge sales numbers and these goals, and I'd be like, well, wait a second. We're always pushing for 3 to 5% growth year after year after year. I know we're so focused on the front door. Can we focus a little bit about the back door?
Thank you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, I will always say that leaders and companies should be rewarded based on net growth.
Yes.
Okay, so that's everything.
Yep.
Sales minus cancels is what you're ending up with.
Yep.
So what does that net growth look like in order for you to be successful? And that's what we focus on. So in some cases, the salespeople are also considered membership service. So there's more of a ownership of onboarding, making sure they've met with the other departments, making sure they've made love connections in a department that will now take them to that next level of showing up 2 to 3 times a week. So it really is looking at both. But more than anything, when I do listen to calls, and I also listen to member calls, club's got to be clean.
Yeah, of course.
The club's got to be clean. And group exercise, it's got to be all that in a bag of chips. Yep, because those are your 2 prominent things that can either make you or break you because of the majority of people that focus on just those 2 aspects, and also knowing what the trends of the industry are. Are you giving people that are coming into your cities that are new what they're looking for in a new health club?
So a couple of things. One, I don't know if you have a copy of our book that Dave and I wrote, but over COVID, we wrote a book called Time to Win Again. And it's all about 52 takeaways from team sports to ensure your business success. I don't think we had. Do you have one?
No, I haven't seen it. I'm sorry.
We'll get it. No. It's not something you needed to do.
How come you didn't send it to me already? Sorry.
Because me and Laudati just became friends, and we're like, Yo, Gannon, we're not checking with you if we want to chat or text now. You're not on the text.
I'll make sure to get our mini copies.
Okay, King Friday. So I'm doing this whole thing where I'm Mr. Rogers now. It's like Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood on my show, and he's like King Friday the 8th. Anyway, so we wrote this book, and it was during COVID, so I was like chief restructuring officer for New York sports clubs, which is like, don't wish that on your worst enemy. But I'm trying to think about, as I watch The Last Dance with Michael Jordan, like there's so many things that professional teams do with their athletes, with their fans to engage, and the whole system works. You kind of have to think about, like, if I was running a sports team, how would I operate? And one of the chapters that we have in the book is play man versus zone. So if you're watching a basketball game and it's like a 2-3 zone, I don't know if you're familiar with you play back in the day?
Yep.
Yeah. So like if I'm playing a 2-3 zone and somebody shoots between, like, from the corner, between the corner and the elbow, it's like, yeah, it could have been my guy, it could have been yours. Like, no one's responsible for that, because we're playing zone. Where I've been telling health clubs, look, if you have 3,000 members and you have 30 employees, give everyone 100 members. Just say, like, let's see how many of them don't break up with us out of your 100. And, like, just set it up where I'm playing man.
Yeah. I mean, the whole thing is, setting yourself up for success. And that has everything to do. And what we learned is that those first 3 months of a new member is going to make or break their relationship with you. Totally. And we also know that if we get them in the hands of a private trainer, well, that just took their longevity to, 3 months to at least 2 to 3, maybe 5 years.
Yeah.
So integrating them in an area, whether it be Pilates or training or group exercise, something, or a sport, the biggest thing going on right now with a lot of the clubs is just introducing things that are new, like pickleball, engagement, fun. So just making sure that you're creating those relationships so that they're engaged and not walking around lost.
Yeah, exactly.
That is key. Those 3 months are crucial. So now you have the salesperson reaching out. So for those clubs that don't have salespeople, it's like, not only do you want to embrace the incoming, they've got to follow up and make a lot of phone calls, but they also have to check on their new members and look at their attendance to make sure that they're coming in. If not, all bells and whistles are going off, and we're calling them to check in on them and to make an appointment with somebody that's going to engage with them. Those 3 months are crucial. And then after that, having reports that show you people that haven't been in a month, that's another round of phone calls.
Yeah.
Checking in, emails, we miss you campaigns. Where have you been? Remember how you felt the last time you left our club? So once again, focusing on that population to make sure they're engaged and they're using the club is key. Because when you have a rate increase and if they're not using it, boom, they're the first one to go.
Yeah, one of the things I rant about, and we can talk for hours, but we'll meet you at the hot yoga place, and I'll shut up. I won't talk during the class. I mean, I've been known to talk a lot. I won't talk during the class. I'll talk after. But one of the things that kind of drives me crazy about health clubs is I went to summer camp back, when I was a teenager. Did you go to summer camp at all?
Sports camps.
You went to sports camps, okay? Within 4 days of being there, 500 people's names. And you probably actually know a little bit about them, right?
Yeah.
So it's shocking to me when, like, somebody walks into a club that all the trainers, all the salespeople, like, I've been to Soul Cycle, not bragging, but I've been there a lot, okay? I've been there, like, to one studio before I went there like 300 times. How does not everyone know my name? And how do I not know theirs? And how are we not on, like, a friend basis?
Yeah.
It's kind of, it really...
It irks me, right? You have to have that mentality. And I always kind of go back to the opening theme of that good old show called Cheers.
Yeah.
Where everybody knows your name. And
yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying.
The Sports Club LA had a very dedicated, committed resolve with all the employees that it was a huge welcome and a fond farewell when people came in and out the door. And to the best of our, I mean, Reebok Sports Club alone had 8,000 members in its prime.
Yeah.
The Upper East Side, we had 61st Street, but we also had 6,000 members in our prime. That's a lot of people. But you know what? When they check in and their name shows up, it's okay. Use their name, say hello. But it was just those little things, and just to see people leave, and you didn't even need to know their name. You just had to wave and say, come back soon. I miss you already. Just to have fun with the members was always such a big thing. But to the best of your ability, knowing your name was crucial.
Just simple things like that.
Simple stuff.
Yeah. Well, listen, it was a pleasure speaking with you.
Thank
I'm kind
you.
of pissed at Gallon. He introduces us 10 years later. He's probably got probably 3 or 4 Laudatis out there. He's like,
I got more than 3 or 4.
Give that one to you next year. Hey, don't talk to this woman. She's on a restricted list. It's kind of like his own restricted list, King Friday.
Listen, I'm going to have you come upstairs and take a hot yoga class.
No, I'll do it. I'll definitely do it. And let's get you a copy of the book, Dave. If you can fast track that, you'll love it. And then I'm glad we met, and we're big advocates of this. We want to try and solve loneliness, obesity, and diabetes. And the only way to do that is make sure there are operations that are profitable, that are able to get the people to stay and to actually get results. And you're a linchpin in that. So on a serious note, great to meet you, and love what you guys are doing.
Thank you. The pleasure's all mine.
You got it. All right. Take care. See you soon.
Bye, guys.
See you, Laudati.